Getting some breaking news now that a complaint has been lodged against Nestle's Chief Production Manager, CEO and Chief Sales Manager. The complaint lodged with the Chief Judicial Magistrate in Varanasi against former and current Maggi brand ambassadors Madhuri Dixit, Amitabh Bachchan and Preeti Zinta. The court is going to be hearing the complaint tomorrow.
I have not received any notice. As soon as I will get it, I will put it up to my lawyers and we will fully cooperate with whatever the law says. I want to also add that, I stopped endorsing Maggi 2 years ago.
Excuse me, in my personal opinion, no, I don't think that they are. Everyone, when we sign up a contract with any company, there is a certain clause or clauses within that contract in which the company assures you that all the research that they have done, all the information that is out in public domain is accurate information, is based on fact. They are not lying to the public. They are not lying about nutritional values. They are not lying about the contents of what goes into the making of anything. But this is all backed by research that they have done, and you have to believe them, because we are not scientists to say that we'll take it to a lab and test it ourselves. We won't know what to do with it. Like, for example, just taking what's happening with Maggi right now. Maybe a year and a half ago, if somebody told you there's something wrong with Maggi, you wouldn't believe it. You know what I mean? The fact is, everyone thought it was well, everyone was eating it, people were selling it, and you trusted the brand. Similarly, we trust it. We trust the people when they give us certain information. We have to trust them because they know better than us. And then you are indemnified by them. And tomorrow, if there's anything, of course, as consumers, you can take up a case against them if there is a problem. You can. But you cannot hold the person who was endorsing that brand responsible, because then when you show that advertisement on your channel, are you responsible for bringing it out to the people? Is a shopkeeper that's selling it to someone responsible? Where does it end? There is no end to it. And of course, I completely agree with you that ambassadors, people have to be responsible towards what they are signing up for.
And past and present brand ambassadors of Maggi now distancing themselves from the product, even as more complaints have been lodged against the brand ambassadors as well, apart from officials of Nestle. Let me now go across to Divya Gandhi. She's a nutritionist and a dietitian. She's here with us in the studio. Also joining us is Ashim Sanyal, the Chief Operating Officer of Voice, which is a voluntary organization in interest of consumer education. Let me put the first question to Divya. Divya, the basic question here is about the high levels of lead that have been found, which is beyond the permissible level. What is the permissible level, and the amount that has been found in Maggi samples in various states that have tested it, how detrimental could they be on humans?
See, the permissible amount is basically it's 0.01 ppm.
Okay.
Right, and as per the reports, what I have received, it's like 17 ppm, which is not good for a person's health. It can destroy your physical and mental health, both.
These are the long-term effects, or do we see effects in the short term as well?
See, it depends on the consumption of the product. If you're taking it on the regular basis, right, the effects of that particular product will be seen quite frequently on the person. It can have a long time effect, it can have a short time effect, depending on the consumption of the product.
All right, Ashim, the other factor that has run into controversy here is the fact that MSG, monosodium glutamate, has been found in Maggi, and it is not mentioned in the list of ingredients. Now, is the effect of MSG, has that been blown out of proportion, or is it really that detrimental for human beings? And apart from that, the question that I want to put specifically to you is how big an offense is it if the ingredient is not mentioned in the list and it is there in the product?
See, first of all, making ingredients known to the consumer is a part of the duty as per the FSSAI rules, in fact. So if FSSAI mandates that whatever ingredients are there in the product has to be mentioned in that, and there is a basic list, of course, and you can add on. In this particular case, Maggi has specifically mentioned out of the way that there is no MSG has been added, which is what the company still claims, in fact, and which is what the consumer faith is, that no MSG has been added. Now, MSG per se can be may not be added, but glutamate can occur through a natural process also. So probably in the test, glutamate may have been found, but finding pure MSG is something amazing, is as amazing as finding lead in the samples.
And what can consumers like me and you do about it?
Not really much, in fact, because it's a packaged commodity which is ruled by Packaged Commodity Acts, the Legal Metrology Act, as well as the FSSAI Act. In fact, so two regulators are sitting on them to ensure that the quality packed product reach us. In fact, so we have to be blindfolded in terms of our eating habits or drinking habits. We can say that whatever we are eating is absolutely safe because it is a packaged commodity and endorsed by basically no other than the government authorities.
All right, let me get an answer from Divya on MSG, and then I'll come back to you about why a person like me cannot go to consumer court over this issue. About MSG, how bad is MSG for people like you and me?
See, it can cause things like nausea, vomiting, stomach pain. It can give facial tightness also. Apart from it, person, maybe if we talk about children, because the consumption of product like Maggi is more with kids.
That's right.
Right. It can lead to, because their brain is developing, it can lead to mental impairment also.
But what is the limit? Because MSG is often found in Chinese food as well. So what is the permissible limit that people can consume?
See, that is basically should be decided by the government or maybe by the agencies. Like, I'm not the right person to ask this.
Do you think that that laws with regards to ingredients like these are not firmly mentioned, and that's why people are able to flout them?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It should be mentioned, it should be mentioned. If it is not mentioned, it may be possible that the quantity of it is instead it could be more.
Yes.
Right, but yes, it should be mentioned on the packet.
So, Ashim, why can't I, for instance, go to a consumer court and say, look, Maggi says that there's no MSG, but their MSG has been found in the product?
Very well, you are most welcome to go to the consumer court, but again, the consumer court, you have to prove, and that's the problem. That's an issue that you have to prove a detriment to that.
And then I would not be able to prove it because I do not have access to a laboratory test. And
so you got to have it tested. Then take the test laboratories and prove that in the long term, if it's happening long term, as Divya said, in fact, then there's nothing that the consumer court can do because it's award compensation based on what the harm has been caused. So there is a limit up to which you can approach the consumer court.
So basically, the onus lies with the government, with the Food Safety and Standards Department. Do you think that they have not been performing their duty well? Because Maggi has been consumed for over decades now in India.
Very true, in fact, and this is right now the eye of the storm is basically the role of the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India as a regulator, national regulator, and also the state government, because this is a state subject. Even if a national regulator gives a motion, in fact, or a notice to the state government, the action has to take place from the state government. So we as consumer organizations always felt that the state safety officers are not doing the job adequately, whereas the state may take the plea that there are no adequate numbers of officers. So though you can take various pleas, consumers are at a receiving end because you do not have adequate number of staff. Number two, the staff are not trained enough. Number three, the staff do not perform their duties on a regular basis. And fourth and most important point, there are inadequate and dilapidated laboratories, in fact. So you can't really depend on the laboratory results.
Divya, now all of us know that instant noodles, for example, are nothing more than refined carbs with a heavy dose of tastemaker in it.
Right.
But when somebody like a brand ambassador comes out and says, okay, now we don't only have refined carbs Maggi, but we also have oats Maggi, which is meant to be healthy. I mean, oats per se are healthy. How misleading is that?
See, it's partially it's not correct to have anything like that on the regular basis, but yes, oats Maggi, it also has added corn flour, which is again not healthy for a person's health, because then it is high in carbohydrate, though it has oat, but it has other added things also. So they are just highlighting on one product, one healthy product, and adding many other products to it,
and that we do not know of. We are unaware of that.
It's just that people, they don't notice that.
Okay,
half of it might be mentioned, but people, they just don't check it. They think that it has oats and they eat it.
Divya, very quickly, because we are running out of time, but I really want to ask you this, because the target group is children and everybody wants to protect children across the world globally. So tell me, have you seen detrimental effects in children if they are consuming too much of these instant noodles?
See, Maggi people are consuming over the years now.
Yes.
Right. So Recently, I will not say that there is anybody who is coming to me that they are facing such kind of problems, but yes, in India, the kind of problems related to your stomach, your intestine, and these kind of things are very common in India.
Okay.
So it could or may not be because of this.
All right. Many thanks, Divya and Ashim, for joining us and giving us a perspective on that story. With that, we're taking a very quick break. But if you're still eating Maggi and have questions, ask our experts. Call us in at 0120 480 7310.